Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for another tech tip. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to make an interactive choice board using Google Slides. This would be something that you could use to assign your students during independent work time, for remote learning, or as a form of a digital center. So I'm going to start by picking a background for my choice board. Rather than make it a solid color, I thought I'd make it a bit more interesting. I like to use the website Pixabay. It has lots of great images that are free for you to use. So I've searched for a blue background and I like this one down here. So I'm going to choose this one. Just have to select free download, and yes, I am not a robot. So it's now downloaded onto my device. I have to go back to my Google Slides and select the word background. Rather than choosing a color, I'm going to choose an image. And because it's on my device, I'm going to select Browse, and it's at the top here. And then select Done. So now I have a more interesting background for my choice board. The next step is to add a table. So I'm going to go to Insert at the top and select Table, and I'm going to make a 3x3. And kind of resize it. I want it to stay kind of on the side over here so that I have room to add some instructions. So I'm going to spread it all out. Obviously it's kind of tricky to see there, so I'm going to actually fill it in with white. You can choose anything you like there, personal preference. And I want the lines to be a bit thicker. So next to the border color, I'm going to go to border weight, and there we go. So now we have our table. Next thing we can do is add a title. So I'm going to use a text box over here. And I'm going to call this Literacy Centers. You can highlight that, change the font and the color. So I'm going to change that to white so it's easier to see. And a bigger font. There we go. So now I have a title. Now that we have our table, we want to add some icons to the table for the students to click on. I want this to be literacy centers, so I'm going to search for a picture of a book. I'm going to use the website publicdomainvectors.org. Again, some great free images that we're able to use. And if I search for a book and scroll down, should be lots of free options to choose from. So I like this one. I'm going to right click and copy the image. Return to your choice board and Control V or right click to paste. You can then resize it and put it in one of these spots. I want this to link to the website Epic, so I'm going to go to the website, highlight and copy the URL. You can go back to your icon again and press Insert Link and paste that link in there and apply it. Now when a student clicks on that picture, it's going to link directly to the website. I also want to have some kind of writing activity, so I'm going to search for a pencil. And I like this one. So again, right click, select copy. Go back to your file and paste. You can resize that image, and there we go. This time, rather than linking to an outside source, I'm going to link to an assignment that I'm going to include in this slide deck. So I've made a second slide. I'm going to add a text box and fill in that text box with white so it's easier to read. And change the font, make sure it's black, and I'm going to make it a bit bigger. So I'm just going to type here for your assignment. So when you're working on this slide, you can type whatever you want them to be working on. And now I'm going to go back to the main slide and select this pencil and include a link, but rather than pasting a link to a website, I'm going to link it to a slide in this presentation. So that is on slide 2, and there we go, and now we can apply. When I have students on this slide though, if they need to go back to the main slide, I'm going to need to provide some kind of icon for them to click on. So I'm going to look for an arrow. Again, going back to that website, searching for an arrow. Go down, and I'm going to select this one. Copy image, and I can paste it. And I'm going to resize this image and put it down here, and I'm going to add a link to that arrow by going to Insert Link, Slide in this presentation, and I want it to go back to slide 1, so I'm going to select that and click Apply. Now when the student's done with the task, they can go back by clicking the back arrow. When you've filled in your entire choice board with different icons linking to either different slides or external sources, you're almost ready to share. There's one last step that you want to do before you share, and that's make sure that when the students are viewing the file, you're not accidentally going to click around and go to a different slide by accident. So what we want to do is make sure that when we're not on this main slide, all the other slides on the side, we're going to right click on them and select Skip Slide. This way it doesn't automatically jump to the wrong slide when a student clicks somewhere around the slide that's not one of the icons. You can double check this by pressing Present. If I click anywhere else on the slide, it's not going anywhere, but if I click the pencil, it's going to go to the next slide just like we wanted, and the back arrow is working here. So now we are ready to share. I want to make sure that you go to the Share button, and so that everyone with the link can view, and we're going to copy that link, and we're going to open a new tab and paste the link there. At the end where it says Edit, we're going to erase the word Edit and replace it with Present. This is going to force the file to open in present mode, so it will look like this for your students. This way they're not seeing all the different slides on the side, they're just seeing it with the main slide, and when they click, they have a full screen of the next slide that you want them to look at. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe to follow along for more tech tips. You can also find me on Twitter at MrsMcB_edu or on Instagram at TechWithMrsMcB. Happy creating!